touch me there. Let me make it clear. I like what you're doing when you do your thing. Touch my life, but don't go too far. Your eyes are speaking. I feel what you feel. Ooh la la, I can't believe this. Ooh la la, no one getting your kisses. Ooh la la, this ain't real. This some kind of deal. Ooh la la, feel so strong. Ooh la la, feel so real. Ooh la la, hold me responsible for it. I'm about to do it, yeah. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Tu me touches, touche-moi là. Ooh la la, ooh la la.
Baby, j'ai trouvé ton corps sensible. En cabra qu'à ça qu'a fait au plaisir. Et dis-moi ça ou qu'a ressenti. For real, my lady. Girl, let me touch you, you are the first one. Me never left you for someone. You don't need another one. Let me touch you there, let me touch you there. You can't believe this. Let me give you a kiss. Baby girl, laissez-moi toucher, laissez-moi toucher. Manquez caresser, manquez caresser. You are me baby, yes, you are me lady.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andre. All right, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin, the XXM Airport? Now, the airport had a very interesting week. Members of the media had to go through a walkthrough, and it was more like a day in the past, because it's basically the same thing, but with more workers around, with more hard hats and more safety hazards, and presentations about bringing back the airport to its former glory. Because of course the worst CEO in St. Martin history has to continue showing that he is capable of delivering a project he knows nothing about. Now, during the walkthrough, I was part of it. One of the most important things that I was able to get out of this media tour from the St. Martin Airport is the Carl and Son sandwiches. Oh my God, it was really good. I had like 2 of them. Now every media member had to just get 1, but I took 2 because they were so delicious. Oh, I gotta pick up the Carl and Son crew for providing the snacks for the members of the media during the tour. The tour was basically the same thing that we've seen before. It's just like fast forward to 2 years from now, and because of the pressure that's happening at the airport, everybody's putting pressure on the airport to make it finish. The recent announcement of a delay of 7 months, so they had to, bring us in there, the media members, and give us a tour. Of course, Mr. Mingo, I remember him watching me, and I watched him, and he said, "Hello, Andrew," and I was like, "Hello, worst CEO in St. Martin history." And then he was like, "Haha," and then he thought I was joking. I wasn't. But I enjoyed the sandwiches. The sandwiches was very good. Yes. Anyway, so we went through the tour. The only difference that I saw when it comes to the tour was that, work is ongoing, because you had more people in hard hats, and they were adhering to safety protocols. I have to say something, and that is very important, because many people think that this is a personal attack on the CEO of the airport. And let me be clear, it is, because the man is incompetent and he doesn't know what he's doing at the airport. When it comes to the workers at the airport, it's not your fault. So I ain't blaming you. I'm blaming the top, which is the management of the St. Martin Airport. The board, the supervisory board of directors, I'm blaming you too for allowing this clown to continue bringing down this airport. So let me just be clear when it comes to that. Because, I get some side eyes during the tour, and it was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I just enjoy my sandwich. It's free food. So I was just going to come on the tour. Come on. Either way, the explanation that I received from the project manager, Mirto Brill, about the report being there in 2017, being issued, and then another company doing the same report in 2019, and certain things was already in the report and then was rehashed, and then that's the reason why we have a 7-month delay in the reconstruction of the terminal building. It's complete, utter craziness, because he said, oh yes, it's an oversight. An oversight is what he called it, and then he said, we should have an investigation about it. We definitely should have an investigation about it. But for now, let's look forward into finishing the building. And my thing is, no, somebody has to be held accountable. If it's not the Council of Ministers who's the shareholder, then it should be the management. If it's not the management, then it should be the CEO. Because we can't be adding $9 to $10 million extra on top of an airport that had to be finished a long time ago. Which brings me to the Parliament meeting which took place on Friday. The Minister of Everything, Omar Otley, and that's of course the Minister of TIAT, Acting Minister of TIAT until Leo Lambrick's screening finishes and he comes in. And then of course the Prime Minister, Sylvia Jacobs, was there chilling on the side. She didn't say anything during the whole meeting, but of course the Minister of Everything stood there tall. Camera couldn't even catch him, you know, he was just like out of the frame the whole time. It was like out of the frame. Like, that's how tall he is. But anyway, he was explaining the situation at the airport, basically the best way he can because of the information given to him, which is no information. And the members of Parliament had some fun by answering him. Here's your highlights of Friday's meeting.
So here we have in 2017, the intermissile layer was identified by the assessment report of ABT NACO. It was recommended to change. The building was not fully clean and had not been gutted out as yet. First, it was verified in May 2022 by Ballas Nadam, the contractor. It was overlooked by the engineer and the architect of the project and stated as fix, repair rather than fully replace. Project evaluation will be scheduled under the leadership of the World Bank and NRPB. The contractor, Ballas Nadam, gave 3 options to repair the intermissile fire layer. This was reviewed and supported by experts. The total cost of the intermissile paint replacement is $9.7 million. The duration is 7 months. The new project is scheduled to be made. Here I present options that was given to me and the COM. The first option was an option of 6 months. This was to erect a temporary facility because there's a lot of complaints from the workers and immigrations about the noise, the dust that takes place in the day. The contractors even started to work at night at one point, but the productivity level was not good. As Minister and the COM fully agreed, we said, no way, we are not going backwards. We are not putting people in tents. We demanded them to find another option, in which option 2 at the time was the only other option for 10 months. Together with the airport and the experts, we managed to find a solution that took us from 10 months delay to 7 months, with still hopes that we can bring down the time.
We have a one-pillar economy, Mr. Chairman, and we have one opportunity and one chance to make the first impression. The customer journey is what makes the customer experience, and it starts and ends well. And if it starts and ends well, the customer is very likely to retain positive memories about it. The CEO again stated yesterday in the Daily Herald article, the only approach is tactical. All hands on deck. Bottled water, Wi-Fi, and can I help? I'm trying to say it the way the CEO would say it. Really, Mr. Chairman? Where's the empathy? Where are the numerous signages consistently apologizing for the inconvenience? Not those two measly signs we see there. Who knows how far some of our passengers have traveled and to be greeted with chaos? And they don't want to hear from a flight crew, which I've heard on numerous occasions, that sorry for the inconvenience. No, Mr. Chairman, they want to hear it from the airport with sincerity and empathy. An apology and some empathy will go a long way, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the consultant said that it's an oversight. If it's one thing I know of this minister, with his engineering skills, it wouldn't have passed him. It wouldn't have passed him, not this minister. So for the minister to come here and say that this is what he get from the consultant, I would have liked to see what that conversation was in the corner between he and that consultant. Because I would want to believe, Mr. Chairman, that the minister would have probably said, I can't tell the members of parliament that. You see, Mr. Chairman, Royal Haskonin is presently on the airport right now, part of the engineering team. Part of the engineering team on the airport right now. Under Royal Haskonin, Mr. Chairman, they have different companies. And one of those companies is NACO. And in 2017, NACO was requested by the airport to do that study. And I handed it to the minister and the prime minister. Detailed structure by structure. So the question I have to ask, number one, where did that consultant come from? And who is that consultant? I hope it's not a consultant from Schiphol. Because I would want to know, if you haven't seen that report, that it could have been an oversight. A $9 to $10 million oversight. And through you, Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Minister said they have done their due diligence. I am disturbed. I am disturbed because the document is in the airport archives. Div number, date, everything is there. In addition to that, Mr. Chairman, on the signing of Ballasnadam with the contract, this report was part of it. Ask them. Ask them if this report wasn't part of the agreement in signing their contract. They pass around a memo on the airport, and I doubt the Council of Ministers got it, during the noise. And they said that they did a test. And in that test, it was observed that for clients or workers to be disturbed by the noise, it has to be for 15 minutes or more. Mr. Chairman, I am asking the Council of Ministers through you for them to please produce that test. Why am I asking for that test? I would like to ask the Council of Ministers, do they know in terms of decibels how long it takes an individual to be lethargic, to be dizzy, to be confused? Mr. Chairman, is a tactic that is used by the CIA when they are trying to get terrorists to talk. They play loud music, a constant repetitiveness of noise, and it's not 15 minutes. Mr. Chairman, I have the research. It's not 15 minutes. Mr. Chairman, I want to play this with your permission. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, that is the airport, 8:30 in the morning. My colleague Grisha Heidegger Martin make mention, what if something from the top falls to the bottom? That is 8:30 in the morning, and that went on for 3 minutes straight, Mr. Chairman. 3 minutes straight. That the workers have to deal with every day. The passengers have to deal with every day.
So the construction agreement having been signed in October 2021. However, there is quite a history before that. And fact is, reconstruction delays or not, World Bank bureaucracy or not, COVID pandemic or not, up until now, the main reason for the overall delay in the financing of the Princess Juliana International Airport following Hurricane Irma is political. Is political. And when I said that, I don't know if the minister acquainted himself, that's the part I'm talking about. If the minister is cognizant of that delay, not reconstruction delay, whatever, materials can get, whatever, oversights, whatever the case may be, pandemic, World Bank bureaucracy, all topics on their own. But fact is that the biggest delay was political before the project itself was signed. Not a reconstruction, the project.
Another highlight that was very interesting was the back and forth with the President of Parliament and, of course, William Marlin and Savage Chris. And then, of course, the former Worst President of Parliament, Trisha Heyliger Martin. It was fun. It was interesting. It was worth a highlight on the late night show. Take a look.
And some who are questioning or may question today were sitting on the other side of the fence, on the other side of the coalition, and were embracing the signing with Schiphol and PJIAE. And I want to bring that as a reminder of how we got here. Mr. Chairman, it is good also for the minister in answering questions to sort of remind Parliament, and through Parliament remind St. Martin as to who offered Schiphol or who offered the Dutch board members on the board of PJIAE. The chairman, the rules of order are clear, but not to everyone, it would appear. When you request, as members of Parliament, an urgent meeting, you first have to indicate the reason why you want this meeting to be an urgent meeting. And then it is the prerogative of the chair to agree. And once the chair agrees, because the chair has to notify other members why they are being called to an urgent meeting. Because if you wake up on Monday and there's no meeting convened, maybe until Thursday or Friday, and then you suddenly get a convocation to come to a meeting tomorrow, it has to be clear why that meeting is being convened. And if the chair does not consider it an urgent, there is an urgency for that meeting.
Point of order,
will
Mr.
not
Chairman.
be called as an urgent
This is not
meeting.
about, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Did you give a point of order to someone?
MP Grisha Martin, I have not given you the point of order yet. Please,
Really?
please hold on to that. Let Mr. Marlin finish and you can raise your question.
Mr. Chairman, we also now I lost where I was going with the final remark. No, I'm finished as far as that urgent. A member who spoke before me allowed people to listen to some noise and said these are the tactics that the Nazis use, or these are tactics that the CIA use to make someone.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
MP Christopher, I would believe you can hold your point of
No,
order.
no, Mr.
till-
Chairman, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Let
Mr. Chairman, the member of parliament made mention of me, of something
I
I
did
did
He
not
did
say.
not
made-
mention
I
your
did not
name.
say
He
nothing
said
about no
one
Nazis.
MP.
I said a member
would
of
say-
parliament
I
I did
would
not
say-
mention nothing
before
about
me.
Nazis, Mr.
I would
Chairman.
like to adjourn the meeting for 2 minutes to
didn't
have
say
a
nothing about no
clarification.
Nazis.
Meeting adjourned.
Good. I didn't say nothing about no Nazis. I asked for a point of order. I didn't say.
A few moments later.
Mr. Chairman, I said a speaker who spoke before me, and I made reference to a tape that is used, and I made mention of Nazi. It is incorrect, and I withdraw that. The speaker said it is used by the CIA, and that I can stand by.
Now, let me get to former minister and current member of parliament, independent member of parliament, Ludmila de Weever, who had a very interesting statement that I have to highlight, because when I saw this, I said to myself, did she just say this on the floor of parliament? Take a look.
I'm going to repeat the words of a former prime minister of this country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, St. Martin, that said, if we would stop just thieving and interfering for at least 1 year, our island going to be very, very, very far along. We would be, once again, the gem of the Caribbean that everyone wanted to aspire to be. And so take it where you want to go with that. I will have more opportunities to go into that deeper, but if we would just stop thieving and hooking up our own, then maybe we would get somewhere.
You see that? She said, she literally used the word thieving now. No, I want to hear it again.
If we would stop just thieving and interfering for at least 1 year, our island going to be very, very, very far along. We would be, once again, the gem of the Caribbean that everyone wanted to aspire to be. And so take it where you want to go with that. I will have more opportunities to go into that deeper, but if we would just stop thieving and hooking up our own, then maybe we would get somewhere.
Now, of course, Brother Hyacinth Richardson, one of the most hardworking MPs in Parliament, had a clapback. He had an answer for the good MP, and he made it very short and brief.
I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to be back in the second round, but I want to say for the record, the National Alliance don't thief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So all in all, what did we learn today? We learned that if we stop thieving, if they stop thieving for at least 1 year, St. Martin will be in a better place. I think that is one of the most honest things that was said by a politician in St. Martin history. I think we're going in a good direction. Yes, we are. Question is, which party she go run on for the next elections? I want to see. I want to know. Somebody let me know. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.